Shifting our focus to the big story we're tracking, even as the din around the molestation allegations that were levelled by Bollywood actor Preity Zinta against her ex-boyfriend Ness Wadia refuses to die down, there are now reports that both the parties have started exploring the possibility of settling the case outside court. The report added that it would focus on a buyout of Zinta's 23% stake in Kings XI Punjab. First, the latest on the probe and possible sale of Preity Zinta's stake.
Are Preity and Ness close to settling the molestation case? Reports certainly suggest so. Even as cops wait for Preity to record her statement and identify the witnesses who allegedly saw Ness grab Preeti's hand and molest her on 30th May at the Wankhede Stadium. Preity has to answer specific questions, right from the exact location where Ness was yelling to the members of the Kings XI staff who were present, even the location of Preeti's seat, the witnesses and the names of BCCI official Preity complained to. Meanwhile, sources are telling Headlines Today that Preity may decide to give up her stake in the Kings XI Punjab as a part of an amicable settlement. Here's the current shareholding pie of Kings XI Punjab. Dabar's Mohit Burman holds the highest 46% stake, while both Preity and Ness hold 23% stake each. And if Preity is willing, an existing stakeholder could pick them up. Speaking to Headlines Today from London, Mohit Burman, who holds 46% of the shares in IPL team, denied Preity or Ness discussing a sale of shares, but said that any one of the stakeholders of the IPL team would buy them in the case of such a possibility. The Mumbai police has contacted Kings XI Punjab COO Fazer Castellino to record his statement in the case and also enlisted the help of IPL COO Sundar Raman. Cops have been pouring through the over 9 hours of CCTV footage and also collected another set of CCTV pictures, which may be sent to a cyber lab for video enhancement. Meanwhile, Bollywood as usual is maintaining a safe distance from the scandal.
The Ness Wadia Preity Zinta face-off may have grabbed the headlines, but senior Kings XI Punjab officials maintain that much like their showing in IPL 7, which was their best ever, their business interests will remain unaffected. Sources tell us that in an eventuality, if Preity decides to drop out, one of the existing stakeholders would come in, buy the stakes, and so the players can rest easy. In Mumbai, Rasesh Mandani for Headlines Today.
So as reports come in of Preity Zinta mulling the option of selling her stake in Kings XI Punjab, let's look at various options. The first option, well, Preity and Ness agree to sort out their differences. Why it could be a possibility? Well, some reports suggest that negotiations are already on between the two sides. Let's now look at the second option. Well, Kings XI Punjab team management manages to convince Preity Zinta to move out. Why that could be a possibility? Well, Preity Zinta gets to walk away with a tidy profit in such a situation. Remember, this is the first time that they have made profit in IPL. The third option being Preity Zinta herself deciding to sell her stake in Kings XI Punjab. And why there is a good chance that this is possible? Well, some reports are suggesting that she's keen to sell the stake and move to the US, where she is already spending a lot of her time. All right, in fact, let's get a word in straight from Hitesh Jain. He's Preity Zinta's lawyer. Hitesh, first I'd like you to clear the air on the reports that are doing the rounds of both the parties exploring the possibility of settling this case outside court, and one of the resolution could be in sight if Preity Zinta sells her stake in her IPL team. What have you learned from your client?
According to me, this is pure speculation, and since this is speculation, that does not deserve any reaction or any answer. According to me, for the last 2-3 days, people are speculating on a lot of stuff. So let's put the speculation at the rest. As far as I am concerned, I am unaware, and there is no word to that effect, and we can treat this all discussion as speculation.
All right, so you're saying this is merely a speculative report and you would not want to comment further on that. And a lot of this speculation, Hitesh, is arising from the fact that your client hasn't made herself available to record her statement to the police again, to share her account of what exactly happened. We believe there's a list of 5 questions that the Mumbai police want answers from Preity Zinta on. When exactly is Preity Zinta going to report to the police?
Well, I think as I mentioned previously, that Preity has been cooperating with the investigation, and whatever the responses are required for the Mumbai police, Preity will cooperate with them and she will provide all the details to them.
All right. Another thing over which there has been a lot of furor are the charges of molestation. I'm quoting from the complaint that she had filed with the police. She had talked about intimidation, where she said Ness Wadia threatened to make her disappear as she was a nobody and was just an actress, while Ness Wadia is a powerful person. How exactly did the charge of molestation creep into the FIR?
Well, I think this is again I think let's read the FIR as a whole. FIR does not use any molestation. Whatever I had to speak, I think we have spoken about this enough about yesterday, that this is a case about outraging of modesty, and it is not the case about molestation or any other color which was tried to be given. I think this air has been cleared, and I think let's not speculate. Let's read the FIR and leave it at that.
You have been in constant touch with your client Preity Zinta, who has been incommunicado for journalists. Could you explain to us, could you shed more light on whether or not the actor wants to press charges of molestation against Ness Wadia?
Well, I think let's not. I think what has been happening is that we are trying to do hair splitting. I think about whether the actor not speaking to merely because she's not speaking to the press. People are making their own speculation and drawing conclusion. I think one should look at the FIR. In FIR, whatever sections are there, they are all there, and matter is under investigation, and we should leave it at that.
All right, you're terming most of this is speculation, but before I let you go, Mr. Jain, I would like to know from you again the reports that have surfaced of a possible resolution that could be in sight and possible selling of Preity Zinta's stake. Would you categorically deny it?
Well, I do not know from where such reports have surfaced, and since these reports have no authenticity, so therefore they do not deserve any reply.
Hitesh Jain, Preity Zinta's lawyer, speaking to us. I'd request you to stay on with us. I would also want to bring in Headlines Today's consulting editor, sports, Boria Majumdar, for more on this. Boria, well, this is the first time in IPL season that Kings XI Punjab had declared profit. So obviously there will be questions asked about whether this will be a profitable move for Preity Zinta if she sells out her stake and moves out of the team, as reports do the round of that being a possible way to reach a resolution.
Let me just make 3 straight points. I am not remotely interested in what Preity Zinta and Ness Wadia do in their private lives and what sleaze comes out in the open. This doesn't concern me at all. In fact, I think this slanging match, this sleaze that is coming out in the open is pretty disgusting. Secondly, I want to make this point that I'm concerned about the franchise Kings XI Punjab. They had a fantastic season. Mohit Burman's statement that they have broken even, they have even made a profit. This does throw a serious spanner in the works for the players. What happens to the players, because they will be caught in this crossfire? Because I don't see, even if there is a reconciliation on the face of it, business partners coming together for money's sake, obviously that will be the clincher. I don't see the two seeing eye to eye and sitting together in the Kings XI Punjab box, or even taking team decisions together and cooperating. So one has to sell a stake. Obviously Mr. Jain denied the fact that Preity Zinta is thinking about it, but from the perspective of the team, how do you see two warring owners keeping a team together? And I'm more interested in the cricket aspect, because that's my subject. I see this adversely impacting Kings XI Punjab, the franchise, going forward into IPL Season 8. And the players, because the players will now be torn between loyalties. So it would be better for the franchise to try and resolve this problem as soon as possible.
All right, we also have with us noted lawyer and activist as we talk about various facets of this case. Ms. Abha Singh, I'd like to know from you, the FIR is actually based on the complaint that has been filed by the victim, and given what Preity Zinta has said, she has not used the word molestation anywhere in this complaint, is there a likelihood that the charges of molestation could be dropped at the time of the filing of the charge sheet?
Definitely, but the first question is, how has Mumbai police used the section 354 when there was no charge of molestation. Bombay Police Act very clearly says that the ingredients of the complaint have to be reflected in the FIR. So Mumbai Police role has to be seen. Why it is acting as a benevolent defector on Preity Zinta. It is seen in Salman Khan's case also that the Mumbai Police tried to help him, and now by putting such a section, I think that is why now they are talking of a settlement. So criminal law should not be used as an arm twisting tactic. That is important. Secondly, all these sections are compoundable, which means that out of court settlement is possible. So maybe all these sections have been put upon the Ness Wadia in a way to hammer out the sale of the 23% stake, which will again be making a mockery of the law. So an independent inquiry needs to be done into the role of the police, and also why such
you're saying
sections
that
as
the section was
354 were slapped.
misused, but the police says that by allegedly grabbing Preity Zinta's arm, as she has mentioned in her complaint, without her consent, Mr. Ness Wadia's action amounts to molestation under section 354 of the Indian Penal Code. Is that correct or not?
Definitely, this was an altercation. It was a strife, a duel, verbal duel plus altercation, which cannot be given a sexual favor. 354 very clearly says it has to be a sexual overture or a sexually colored statement. In broad daylight, with CCTV cameras, with his mother around, it makes no sense that there was any molestation. I think Mumbai police has jumped the gun, and in order to please Preity Zinta, they have put 354. In fact, her lawyer is clearly saying that we have not mentioned the molestation charge. Then how Mumbai police has come? An inquiry needs to be ordered into that, because the police cannot jump the brief and make a mockery of the criminal law.
All right, we discussed that in detail. Also, the question here about Preity Zinta, when exactly will she make herself available for questioning to give her account of what exactly happened? We also understand that there are 5 posers from Mumbai police to Preity Zinta to corroborate exactly her account, witnesses' account, and of course the CCTV images that they have gathered. Preity Zinta and Ness Wadia looking at a possible out-of-court settlement. This as Preity Zinta is now reportedly mulling selling her stake in Kings XI Punjab side. But when exactly is the actor? She has been given 5 questions by Mumbai police to answer. Let me quickly go across to our entertainment editor Rohit Khilnani, who now joins us. Well, last we heard Preity Zinta has been in Mumbai. The delay in getting her exact account is also leading to delay in investigation. What is it that you're picking up about the actor now joining the police in their investigation?
You know, Preeti's exit from Mumbai obviously has been very well planned. She knew that once she filed this complaint, there will be all the media attention, and there will be this will have a backlash, and she will be answerable. So obviously her exit has been very well planned. There are reports that she's in LA. Of course, nobody has spotted her till now. We don't know where exactly she is. But like Mr. Jain said, that he called almost everything that we said is speculating, and of course Preity has all the right to be silent. And he also went on to say that media is maybe speculating because Preity has not spoken to them, and maybe they could consider that Preity comes out and speaks to the media and clarifies that everything that's speculative here.
All right, let me quickly go back to Abha Singh, who in fact questioned why exactly did the Mumbai police include charges of molestation when no such thing was mentioned by Preity Zinta in her complaint. Why was section 354 added in that FIR? But Ms. Singh, isn't it for the law enforcement agencies really to determine whether the charges that have been made in the FIR stand or not? What exactly is wrong with Mumbai police filing these charges?
See, criminal law is very clear. It cannot be vague. It is definitive. And Bombay Police Act clearly says that the ingredients mentioned in the complaint, that should be reflected in the FIR. And the Mumbai police was supposed to use its brains, but it seems that it was influenced by the glamour quotient. Otherwise, Preity did not even go to the police station. How many cases we have in this country where people do not go to the police station and their FIR is registered? She has not even bothered to come and record her statement. It is compulsory that on the FIR signatures should be there, and on behalf of a lawyer the Mumbai police is registering. This itself puts doubt into the way Mumbai police is acting, and in case these charges are not found true, I would really request the other party to file a counter case on Preity Zinta in the court under 211 of the IPC, which if proven correct it would be 2 years imprisonment. Mockery of criminal law should not be done. This 354 was made non-bailable after the 2013 Criminal Law Amendment Act. The whole country came on the roads to get a strong 354, and it cannot be misused like this.
All right, you're saying Section 354 is being misused by Mumbai police in this case. Well, that's for law enforcement agencies really to judge. At the time of the filing of the charge sheet, this charge could be dropped if they don't find evidence to match it. Let me quickly take the last question to Boria Majumdar. And Boria, we were talking about cricket here, and as we see a possible resolution to this tiff, to this fight, which has now led to a criminal investigation, we're looking at possible sale of stake. Is that something that is possible, considering both of them, Ness Wadia as well as Preity Zinta, hold 23% stake in Kings XI Punjab, or is there any roadblock in the way?
You see, I absolutely see the sale of stake as a perhaps possible resolution. I don't see any other option. I mean, how do you see these two? Even if there is an out-of-court settlement, if I take what Abha Singh was saying there, that all of these issues are very serious issues and the Mumbai police is at fault, there is a settlement out of court, something happens there. Whatever happens, how do you see these two business associates, now co-owners, continue in the future? Do you seriously see them sitting down, having a glass of beer or a cup of coffee and deciding team strategy? Is that possible? It's not possible. To even think that that is possible is outrageous. So the team will suffer. The players will suffer. Brand IPL will suffer. More sleaze will come out in the open. And frankly, I'm tired of this sleaze. Every season there is some nonsense or the other that happens to the IPL. Why don't we have an amicable thing? One person sells his or her stake and moves on. Because that perhaps is the only way that Kings XI Punjab as a franchise can be saved.
Well, there's been so much dinner surrounding these allegations that have been levelled by Preity Zinta against her ex-boyfriend Ness Wadia. Remains to be seen how this is resolved. How soon does Preity Zinta join the investigations, as has been asked by Mumbai police. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you all very much for joining us. Rohit Khilnani, Boria Majumdar and Abha Singh.